Here, I do. So what have we got here, Jonathan?
So here you can see we've got a conceptual prototype of Razor that's put together to kind of show how we see a range of future technologies coming together and creating kind of a really interesting user experience. In this case, it happens to be around an educational experience. I might imagine I'm a junior in college here, and I've got my various classes, anatomy, literature, but I'm going to go into my 3D model here. And this is similar to our worldwide telescope work, where we have kind of a rich 3D model and the ability to overlay all the various data. So I can get various views of this particular thing. I can look at points of interest. So here I've got something from Gray's Anatomy, so it's really highlighting the kind of best information available to me. And I can apply that data to my current 3D view. So now I've kind of overlaid the 3D Gray's Anatomy on my model. But again, it's a nice model here, so I can actually go ahead and manipulate it around here, drag my finger around and look at various areas of the model. I could decide to actually rotate the model here, so rotate it around, look at all sides of it. So I've got a kind of a nice view of it. I can look for more contextual data. So if I clue in here on one of these points of interest, this one I think is actually from my professor. It's going to zoom me in here. And we've gone all the way down to the synapse level. And again, we've got our point of interest up here. So we'll go ahead and click on one of these. Here we've got synapse firing. And see, we've got kind of this rich animation, so it's much more powerful than just a book. But we might have a lot of different points of interest here that we might look at. Oh, it looks like we just got one from a friend of mine, another student in my class. I can look down at that and see he's actually added a drawing into our thing as well. So we kind of have this nice ability. But here we have our resource tab, which shows us all the related data. So the system is constantly doing analysis to bring up the most relevant information to me at any context. And that could be based on my educational style, learning, that kind of thing. Here I've gone all the way out to some things that are only closely related. They're more orange in color, and all the way out as more distantly related things. I could filter this list, so I could go down and look at just my study group. I could look at one of these kind of random ones. So if I go out here to this loosely related one, it's on caffeine. Looks like it's a simulation. So if I drive in here and I can zoom out here to my simulation, and I can get great context for that particular information as well as being able to kind of drive that simulation however I'd like.
Big caffeine buzz.
Yeah, big caffeine buzz there. And so I can also use the C also to kind of zoom to related information. Here I've zoomed to something on strokes. I'm actually going to zoom in to some text information here. And once again, it's doing that same analysis, this time on text. I can zoom right into any of this. I might find out something more about it. I can see this has been translated for me from Japanese automatically. And maybe I'll even drag it over here to my notes and store that later in my kind of, if you will, OneNote future version right here. And if I've taken a lot of notes over my history, I can even scroll all the way back to when I was a junior in high school, right? And we can get some of my earlier thoughts on anatomy, not quite as sophisticated, I suppose, as I am as a college student. But we can broaden this out, look at other things that I was doing back at that time, different scores I got on tests. Or I could actually decide to move all the way forward and get all my latest presentations on things that are coming up for me, like a test or a group project.
So what you're doing here is essentially combining some client code, some rich client code with online services that you're connecting to.
That's right, and you can see that that's really important here that it's a combination of both, right? Even though there's a lot of analysis being done at the cloud level where we're really being able to do it, it's only a rich client that's going to give me this kind of reach-out, touchable, compelling 3D experience. I'm not going to do that with a bunch of massive servers only in the cloud.
Now, this is something that Craig's going to be showing on his college tour. Is this the kind of thing that somebody can expect to see for back to school next year?
Probably not next year, but it's the kind of thing. Think of this really as a conceptual demo of the kind of things that we see this kind of platform being able to possible. It can really enable this stuff through the combination of these things like many-core computing, client and cloud, semantic analysis. All of those things combined can create experiences like this.
Yeah. Well, thank you.